later. Also try more for
Yeah,
link in the same email. So while you connect yourself to the Zoom link, I just wanted to introduce briefly our first speaker. He's Professor Mert Akbal. He's a researcher and a visual artist, so he combines both. And most of his work deal with human perception, dreams, reality, artificial intelligence, augmented reality. He worked on so many different projects. It's hard to mention all of them. Professor Akbal is based at Saarbrücken University, but he's also associated researcher at the Max Planck Institute for Human, Cognitive and Brain Sciences. His work also have like this multidisciplinary approach where you combine cognitive science, psychology, and some highly technical 3D art that I'm not always able to grasp. But I think that it would be like an excellent reflection on artificial intelligence, how it's developing now, with a philosophical twist and several insights that might be helpful also for us legal theorists, legal philosophers, and legal sociologists. So without further ado, I can just, pass you the buck, and the floor is open. Sorry, the floor is yours. Yeah, go ahead. It's
Thank
still
you.
early for
Thank
me.
you. Thank you also for the invitation to your nice city. The title of my talk is Faces of a Faceless Machine, and the aim is questioning the visual culture of an AI. A little bit about me. Also, Alice told also a lot about me, but thank you for the kind words. I am a visual artist and researcher in cognitive science. I work on different topics, but mainly in the last 10 years it was more on dreams and its connection to a visual art. So how dream, biological function of dream initiated that we worked with art. We developed artistic behavior. I'm teaching at the University of Fine Arts in Saarbrücken in media art. And I've worked for 4 years at the Max Planck Institute for Human, Brain and Computer Science, developing virtual reality projects there. Now I'm an associated researcher. And at the moment we are also working at the University of Fine Arts, making a research project about, it's called medical training. It's about training upcoming medical students with patient-human relations in virtual reality, and the patients are driven by artificial intelligence. So it is very artificial intelligence connected project. The context of my talk is like I'm telling this word artificial intelligence. I will repeat it a lot. I will keep saying AI maybe as a short abbreviation of it. There is since a very long time actually, since we have computers, there is this dream of intelligent computer, and there are cycles in the last 100 years. Melanie Mitchell, she is like working on very toughly on the history of artificial intelligence, and there are cycles where artificial intelligence get hyped, so it will solve all our problems, and then there are winters where it has got forgotten and full of disappointment. Now we are having a springtime of artificial intelligence. Everywhere it's talked about in all the media, but maybe this time it's coming much more close into our lives, because probably most of you also try to use it in some context, probably ChatGPT or other applications. You are already using it. So this time it is not just a hype, but it is probably very real. And this can have big effects on the society, on how we are working, how we are participating in democracy, how our society is built. The economy and the environment are also will be affected from it, and these are predicted by many experts on this. There is an ongoing discussion about big possibilities, like magical possibilities, cleaning the environment with robots and curing cancer, and to big dangers, apocalyptic scenarios that where AI is taking over the world, and then there is a catastrophic event. And in this context, there is also and legislative processes going on in the European Parliament, which is called the AI Act. The goal of my talk is actually starting a little bit with this AI Act, which is like not my topic at all, but still I want to talk a little bit about it, but I see as from my point of view. And maybe my suggestion is, or my goal is, to initiate a parallel discussion to legal procedures, a culture of AI, which is like an unwritten behavior, a code, how we should treat AI itself, and also how we work with AI and with other people using AI. So there is this a European Union AI Act. It's an upcoming legislation, and it's regulating the entry to the European Union internal market. So it is really focused not only on humans but on consumers. But the producers of AI, or people, or the industry using AI, should behave when they are producing some goods for the European internal market. It is a very nicely built. Actually, it's like a pyramidal shape. With on top there are like prohibited acts, then the high risk, then the transparent is like usual risk, and then more or less no risks, which are like don't have any obligations to counter. So, as you know, unacceptable risks are that manipulating people, or scoring people, or really remotely biometrically identifying people. This will be completely forbidden because it is a threat to fundamental human rights. Then there are like high risk things which should be regulated. There are like very two big parts of it. One are like the high risk, really healthy or legally high risk things, like using in toys, in aviation, or in cars, or medical devices, or lifts. They should be, if AI is used in like these big machines, which can pose a risk to human life, they should be really monitored. And then there are like this specific areas like biometric identification or law enforcement. My topic, like what I'm working as an artist, is called generative AI, like producing images using AI. This can be also text, this can be also videos, this can be sound. This is generative AI, like producing new things out of old information, old data. And the most interesting point is, or what I will also try to keep here during this talk, is disclosing that your content is generated by AI. This is very important, and during my talk or my presentation, wherever you see the dotted red lines, there will be an artificial generated image. So this image is generated by me. I didn't mark if the other people generated some things, and they should disclose by themselves if I use their images, but for the images which I produced, I marked them in red dots. Exactly. This should be also regulated, especially also designing the model using illegal content or copyrighted content. By the way, what is a model? A model is a trained memory, or the brain of the artificial intelligence. So you can imagine artificial intelligence like a computer again, but the model is the operating system, where what it knows about, and the collected data, and what it worked, how it thinks. This is the model. Okay, so then there are limited risk factors, like and there should be also users get informed if they are facing an application or using a device which has artificial intelligent components in it. Okay, so for now, like this is the part which I don't know much information, but I can't tell or criticize this very much. just from my point of view. But what I want to criticize, or what my problem is in this, is this image, which is accompanying the European Parliament's news site, talking about this European Union AI Act. What we are seeing here are two men or two human beings, or one human being that looks like Martin Schulz, like or Alessio.
I might sue them.
Yeah. So like this is how the European Union, European Parliament is imagining. Alessio is facing a transparent being, a glowing being, but
this
still.
Happens every day. I maybe a face.
They're also exchanging, energy or something.
There's some energy. There are some God rays. Like there's this light coming behind. There are also some buildings, but a very dark scenario. You see, like the European Parliament doesn't have.
I thought it was,
Or maybe or maybe this is the. I mean, they should be maybe more clear. This is my point. And this being has like human hands, but has a shirt on, but has like this transparent head, and the light is coming back. And they claimed that this image is generated by using AI. Okay, they comply at least with their own laws. There are also other images on the Parliament's website depicting like existing robots, but in a very circus way, almost. And then like this is a general thing, like how they use images. So this is exactly my problem. How we are visualizing artificial intelligence and robots as a being. Because it is just like consisting of algorithms and mathematical numbers, data, but we don't have a clear vision of what it is. This ghost in the shell of the computer. As I said, like the aim is why I am looking for this image is to contribute to a culture of AI. Is it possible to have this kind of culture with kind of unwritten or written laws? The culture, you mean like it's a very complex mechanism. They're actually from Isaac Asimov. They already in the he mentioned some rules already in the 40s. They are very simple. That the robots shall not harm humans, and listen to their commands, and also doesn't harm itself, or avoid behavior which is harming itself. So they can be summarized as protect humans, obey humans, and survive yourself. So it's very simple things. But it is maybe also questionable. Just this is what we have. But can we go beyond this? So my first question to you is, if you work with AI, do you say please to AI? Like if you use ChatGPT, how do you do this, or did you ever say please? You say you please, yeah. You say also please.
I refuse to use ChatGPT.
You didn't.
I don't even talk to it. So it's not even saying please.
Okay, but do you just like give if you use do you use sometimes?
I tried that, but I never used the word please.
So this is, for example, one of the very concrete questions. So like, can we build this culture how to deal with artificial intelligence? And here I want to focus on discussion on term consciousness. So if we have another being, is it conscious? Shall we say please, because we can assume that this being is conscious and gets aware of us. I will talk a little bit about current depictions of AI, which are based on stereotypes actually in science fiction literature, and how we can create novel images of AI. These are like my pillars of the, not of the talk, but my research actually. So exactly. So our popular opinion on AI is based on three things, which is like by Liu and Tufan. They have this really great book. It's one scientist and one science fiction writer and the scientist on AI, like he explains more or less the backgrounds of AI, and the Chen Qifan, he is like writing stories about concrete stories, very global stories. Actually, they are like in everywhere, not just like in China or in US. It's really nice perspective from China. Okay, and they take like we have our opinions based on news, which are sensational, and statements by influential people, and science fiction literature. So news, we have like this self-driving cars which got crazy and kill people, or like even more sensationally here, recently a man in China tried to resurrect his grandmother using AI, like trying to talk to his grandmother, who is like, of course, dead. And then we have the statements by influential people, like Stephen Hawking said, like this will be our doom, the AI will be our doom. Or there are passionate people like this, like the author of Spiritual Master Sri Amit Ray, who's like very compassionate about the AI, and we should like embrace it. Or Yuval Noah Harari, who is like at the moment very popularly talks about AI, questions about it, and shows also threats to democracy in a very concrete way. Okay, so like let's focus on the problems in science fiction. Most of the time, if there is a research paper on it from Japan, from 2022, they analyzed different AI and robot depictions in science fiction literature, mostly in Japanese science fiction literature, and they come to the conclusion: if the AI or the robot is human-shaped, then it portrays also typically a very high intelligence and human-like characters. And maybe we can make the conclusion from it that the AI depictions are replicating human self-image. So, and the self-image, we have this component of consciousness. So I want to ask you now, like just like your opinion. Shall we go further? I prepared two different paths, but they will more or less. I will come back to the same again to make a circle. But like, shall we talk about these depictions in the science fiction, or more about the definition of consciousness, by how we can define something conscious? It's a vote, yes. So, like, who is for depictions of AI in science fiction and robots, and who is like more talking about the consciousness? Okay. Okay. So, like, the question is,
you predicted that was the well done.
So, okay. Does AI have consciousness? This is our question. If you talk with the ChatGPT, or even you don't say please, you can see that there is someone talking to you on the other side. But actually, ChatGPT is launched not even 1 year before. It is like very, very close things. There are similar things, like for the similar tools, similar models who are serving to generate images, serving to generate audio. I will also send the presentation, so you have all the links where you can also test on yourself. There are basically also image generation algorithms, machines, and also there are platforms where you can find your own tools. Either these platforms, there is an AI for that. It's more concentrated on professional, don't say less professional, but like the more commercial applications which you can use over your browser. So there are computers on the other side, and they are making your tasks. You pay, of course, you rent this computer power. And there are a lot of open source applications in this Hugging Face that you can find them. Then you have your own computer. You don't need cloud computing. You can really use them on your own with a computer which is like not more expensive than 2,000 or 3,000. So I see you have like the Macintosh, and it is like around this price category, but a real a PC with a proper graphic card will do. Actually, you can use them at home. All this development, like in this last 1 year, actually made possible by this chip. So if I'm looking for an image of the AI, the first thing which I'm looking is how does it look like, or where is the heart of it. So this is like actually one of the reasons why there is an ongoing boom of using artificial intelligence. It's called like Ampere 200 Tensor Core GPU from this. NVIDIA is a very famous producer of graphic cards, and it is optimized to make machine learning and calculate intelligent calculations. So it sounds a little bit cryptic, but what happens there? Basically, what happens is you can imagine the human brain with its all the neuronal networks. They are connected to each other, and it is copying its structure, is copying the human brain's anatomical structure. Not its shape, but these connected dots of points, which are called tensors. This is why it's called tensor. It's like vectors which are communicating with each other. For example, if like we are maybe this kind of network, and I will see something, or I will get triggered by something. If I see, oh, okay, there is a bird, and then I use maybe this word bird, and some of you will react on this word bird. And in this way, you can imagine all the language that some of you are reacting and giving another word for this, and others triggered by this word and doing also something. In this way, we develop a collective intelligence just by using each time one word. But we don't do it. We talk in long sentences, so you can imagine how complicated we are, and maybe you can imagine AI in this way, that it's getting triggered, telling something, giving an output, and waiting for another input. This is what the neurons are doing. So this is optimized to do this kind of calculations. But is it that's what we should think on it? If you think on AI, it could be also different shaped. Actually, it is like made for the practical reasons. It's flat shaped to put into or getting stacked into each other, because there are hundreds of them used at the same time. It is optimized for this kind of collective or cloud computing. But what happened is actually this is 20 times faster than previous one, so this made a really great boom of research. Other images, maybe you also saw these images. These are like robots on development. Some of them are also using. Probably you know this strange dog-shaped thing, which makes really scary sometimes to watch it. And also, maybe also you saw the factory robots, which are transporting things around or flying things around, or even like building. This is a building construction robot, which it pours a kind of self-fixing form, yeah, a construction form, and then creating structures.
Yeah, sorry. In the other one, so the robot is the orange. No,
the other picture.
Orange.
Yeah, the orange one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it there are this, these pads on the ground, and they are carrying goods around and reordering them. I don't know why they are doing this, but they can carry things around and know what they are carrying, and bring them to a certain position. And I don't see any humans on this. It's a like huge warehouse where just these robots are moving things around.
Well, somebody should put the stuff on the shelves. Either a machine.
I mean,
maybe a machine.
This is like the answer is in the next image, actually. So like this is like a bread factory where the robots are packing things into. So you probably know these industrial robots. This is also so at some point some images of them. This is also, but we have also more things more closer, robots or machines or these intelligent AIs closer to us. We are wearing them all the time, like or we have like very strong computers in our pockets, and some also carry watches or applications on the body, we have the computers, we have our modems at home, which are like providing us with the internet, but they're also very intelligent to how to do things. Then we have like more mechanical robots. Cleaning robots are mostly like this this mechanical part, cleaning, like the vacuum cleaner. They are getting more and more popular. Washing machines are very old, but it is still thinks, but it is washing and reacts on the temperature, on the water, and so on. And then we have like less complicated things, which are like maybe no more robots, but automatons, which are like based on the sensor and actor things. They don't necessarily to be digital ones, but even like the coffee machine is like a steam-based thing with a sensor, an actor, and it's doing an automatic work actually. Before we started to talk, as in the culture, talk about artificial intelligence, the term cybernetics was very popular in the 40s and 50s. This was like very simple structure. There were some sensors looking around the world for information, and some controllers who are like checking this information, and then actuators who wait for order from this controller. So if the temperatures or the humidity in this case on this device, if the humidity is above below 50%, then start giving some steam to humidify the air. So this is like a basic automaton doing this cybernetic task, sensor and controller and actor. So, but can we attribute the intelligence to all these machines, or let them be conscious? There is certainly a way of cognition is going on, the thinking is going on. But how complex is this compared to biological intelligence, let's say? Catherine Hales, she is a philosopher in a topic called posthumanism, which tries to predict what will come after humans, or how we will evolve to a different beings. And in his paper, Cognition Everywhere, she's making a definition of cognition connected to biological cognition, and maybe could be also applied to machine-based intelligence. The organisms display a thing called an intention towards survival. So I can, if I feel myself in threat, or in any way threat to my survival or even to well-being, let's say, okay, it is too hot, let's open the window. This would be an intentionally move to change my environment, or to move myself, or to change things. There can be an intention. By contrast, you can think of an iceberg which is melting and doesn't do anything to it because there is no intention about survival. It is what it is, and it changes. There are also really complex things going on in the iceberg's environment in itself, but there is no intention or no motivation, no mechanism to change this melting process. So there is no intention towards survival, or no cognition is going on. There are different types of cognition. For example, non-conscious cognition, which is like we can observe in ants and bees, or at least Catherine Hales gives us an example. They do things without really, as Hales says, without thinking about it, but at the end they are building complex structures like beehives or ant buildings. There are unconscious mechanisms, like, or physiological activities, like my heart is beating, but I can't control it, but I am aware of it. So like there is an unconscious process which is communicated with my consciousness. And there is then really full cognition, which is our me or AI part of us, which is monitoring what is going on, which is like the metacognition. So my body is already thinking, the heart and the lungs and the stomach, they are doing their things, thinking on their own, on their own survival, on their own processes, and the cognition or the consciousness is monitoring them or seeing them, what's happening around and inside and outside. Like example again, a plant from my home. I have just one window, not so much sunlight at home, but I think I have green hands, so I can really grow plants. So this monstera grows so much that it grows to the light, and then sometimes I turn it that it grows a little bit more homogeneously, but then it starts new leaves here, and they grow to the light again. And there's this big intention to survival. So light, and I want to go there. Again, two different examples, extreme examples this time, compared to the plant, which is like maybe in the middle. Our cat has intentions, and not only about survival, but about everything. So there are definitely conscious processes going on. So if she wants to sit on the table, she finds a way, and she does this, and she has this intention and free will. For sure, like this is hard to discuss about. And on compared to it, there's the hammer, which is like a tool which we are using about 3 million years. Like we weren't even Homo erectus at that time, so it is like very old tool. But can we talk about in this very old ancient tool about cognition or intention at all? Okay, so like there are different in the contemporary research on consciousness, there are different depictions or theories on what consciousness is. One of them is from Thomas Metzinger. He divides the things in two parts. There is an invisible me, which is observing my phenomenological, my body, my experience. This is my artwork, yeah. And it is not made with artificial intelligence. It's just my drawings.
Old school.
Old school, yeah. There's this core consciousness, this nothing actually, almost nothing in itself, creates two things, which is like my self, my model of self, of my body, with all my experiences of my body, and an experience of the world around me, a model of the world around me. And at their intersection, it starts to become, by observing my body and the environment, the consciousness starts to arrive. It can't differ itself from these two, like from the body and from the environment. Everything but it experiences is counted as an experience, and the ones before I had, my previous experiences, and my predictions of the future events brings or emerges. It's called the emergent theory. Emerges the consciousness. So it is then at the end me moving in time, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, perceiving my body, perceiving the world. So this is like what Thomas Metzinger describes as consciousness. Von Antonio Damasio, it says there is a similar theory, but he rather attributes it sees a consciousness an essential function and as a collection of experiences. So it's similar, but a little bit different. That this intersection of all the experiences creates a me in time. But both of them have this stable and coherent self going in time with all this experience, all the memories, and this creates a self-centered view of the world. We are like our primary focus is on our perspective. We are looking out of this box, the head, with our eyes out, and we have having some experiences. But all the time we are in the center, each of us. It is hard to talk about the other people's, of course, consciousness. So it can also blind us. Maybe we can associate with the other people's, but it can blind us about the complexities going in other biological, social, or technological systems. It's a human-centered view. is there a possibility to go beyond this? That there is, for example, the dynamic core model. It defines it more generally that consciousness is an interaction inside the brain about different systems. So there is a plurality at least going on, and they try Giulio Tononi tried to describe or formulate consciousness as a system, as a mathematical system, actually in his integrated information theory from 2015. And he divided what happens in the consciousness to different axioms and created calculations or formulas out of it, and tried to quantify consciousness. I can go into detail, but yeah, if you like, I can come back here later and talk a bit more about it. So this part, this quantifying consciousness in formulas, this describing, could be really related to what is going on with also computers, because you can use this formula even for a sand corn. So the complexity defines the consciousness. So little things or less complex things has still consciousness, but less. And more the complexity comes, the consciousness emerges from the complexity. So humans obviously have like more complex operations going on in their minds, so they have like higher consciousness, and an ant, for example, has less, which is not true actually, that the ants have a very big brain. They should have like less consciousness, and even like the inanimate objects could be attributed, like the iceberg could be attributed some kind of consciousness. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was a union of neuroscientists who said this integrated information theory is a pseudoscience. It is not true, because they don't see any evidence in the brain to make such calculations. So, okay, now I'm at the end of the consciousness part. We can go to the images and talk about a bit more about the...
It was very good also these ones.
Okay, so like what kind of images we have from AI and robots? What we imagine from them? There are pre-computer age robot and AI depictions. For example, as I think we were talking yesterday, it is a binary system of philosophy. Actually, it is about chains in the world, categorizing them in 64 categories. And it is also used for divination. In the around 4,000 years ago, it was used for the for divination. It is you ask a question, and there are different ways of how thing. It is maybe one of the ancient computers, which is based on the random output. And then there's the image of Talos, like a protector robot, which is made by Hephaestus to fight pirates. And also, like, there are even Socrates says that the Daedalus created automated machines, automated legends of sculptures or statues. And then there is the image of the golem from Talmud. I think the golem name means the unfinished human being. It's described as a human God's eyes, but I think in the Middle Ages, golem was used to protect as a legend, to protect the ghettos, or the Jewish ghettos, as a legend. And then there is this mechanical Turk. It's a chess robot, which was actually there was a human inside and playing the chess. And then we come to more to the industrial age. The real robots start to arrive. So there is this mule, and it is like considered as the first robot, not just like automate or a machine, but a robot, because it is a composed of two different robots. Therefore, it's called also mule. The crossing. It's like this water frame, which is like doing something, which is and then like mixing or waving or spindling, and there is the spinning jenny, which is like the other component. So from this first robot arrived. If you come closer to the science literature, modern and contemporary science fiction, we have also a lot of depictions of robots and AI. Instead of chronologically putting them into order, I more put them into different topics. So the first thing that we think when we think about the robots or AIs, there is a protector or loyal servant. So it has the godlike, invincible properties, but also it is loyal as a dog. So this is like from the film The Day Earth Stood Still, where there is an almighty alien robot who helps to bring peace to Earth by destroying things. And then we have this worker image, which is like tireless working robot, not complaining. Maybe you saw this film Wall-E from 2008. And the word robot actually comes from the Karel Čapek's 1920 theater play, Rossum's Universal Robots. And robot, the word is derived from the Czech word robota, which means like forced labor, or it's like indications of slavery actually. And in this film, in this theater piece, there is also, of course, the topic of the work and the meaning of the work is questioned. And then we have this image of the monster robot. Recently, a friend of me told, I told him I'm using AI and said, don't feed the monster with your data. So there we have this monstrous depictions of robots also in films. To wrap up this part, like this depictions, we had in antiquity we had animals to use as an extra part of workforce, labor. In industrial revolution, the machines arrived, which were extra, and now like we have these electric robots who are providing extra workforce. But the robots or the AI is not just like work, but also information. It can be also seen as a book, which knows everything and precise, and it's always ready to give you unlike a teacher who can get tired and get like a sore throat. It's always friendly and always talks to you. But we have also this demon. It could be so intelligent that it is deceiving and cunning, like Descartes' demon, which is trying to trick us. Kind of gives us these brains in a what, like this isolated brain, which is making demonish things about us. And then this wish of an oracle, a robot or a machine, which can see the future. This is also the oracle from the film Minority Report. Although there were humans inside in this perception of the precognitive events, it was realized by computers. So again, we have this comparison. In antiquity, we had oracles. In Industrial Revolution or Enlightenment, we had determinism, which tries to see the future. And now we have like prediction algorithms, which are sometimes so complex that even no human can really know what is going inside them. But they can predict the weather or the consumption behavior. So if you get spooky advertisements, there is some algorithm trying to find the patterns in your behavior and tries to give you some suggestions what should buy in this situation. Then we have like more familiar depictions of AI and robots. For example, Pinocchio. This is like this universal child or next generation, a descendant of the humanity, and it should be treated well and carefully raised and educated. But at the same time, it is also questioning its own being. There are a lot of depictions of robots in science fiction, which are trying to find their own humanity, which are trying to become a human. And then the opposite, there are the parental robots who are taking care of everything and trying to best for the humanity's survival. The question is here about, of course, the death, the survival and the death, and the immortality, or being immortal, being not being obliged to die is a very big topic also. If you talk about the robots, some people are thinking to digitalize themselves, to live forever as a digital being. Others want to replace their body parts in order to survive. So there's this immortality thing is very, very, very strange in this context of robots. Here, of course, we have the Blade Runner's Roy Batty, who has like this monumental speech at the end of the film that everybody its own being as a robot is also will be vanished as a rain in the time, so it will disappear forever.
I read that the actor made it up. I mean, it was partly on the script, and for the rest, he went wild, and it became the famous dying scene of this one. But it was not on the script. It was a human thinking, and the death like a
machine. Going beyond this immortality, there is also like a very dark process of necromancy, like talking with the dead. So there's someone already died, and you can maybe communicate with them. There is this film White Noise from 2005. It's not so famous, but I watched it. It was super scary, and this white noise in the screens, or the noise in radio, and they were trying to communicate with the dead people through these noises. And as I mentioned at the beginning, there are also some attempts to resurrect people, like the Brazilian musician Elis Regina died like years ago, more than 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and now they are resurrecting her images in an advertisement, an Volkswagen advertisement. So there's also a really nice article about it, why and how this process of resurrection through AI is now getting so popular. But again, we have, and in antiquity we had the monuments and pyramids and mummies who tried to preserve the dead after the life. And in the Industrial Revolution, it became photography. So if the most famous, actually, now it's not no more so common, but they were picturing dead people just after they died, and there was a real profession going on in the studios, posing as if this person is not died, and making a picture to keep them alive. And now we have the AI models. Like, my prediction in this part is maybe there will be some monuments for people who we wished they lived more, and then you can go there and talk with this person through AI, using all the data from this person's books and what she said, or what they did in life. So it's like a data mummy. Okay, then we have this topic of consciousness. There is this film Ex Machina, which questions different aspects of the consciousness, like sentience or free will or having emotions. And we have like depictions of AI and robots as virus, like in the film Terminator. It is trying to get all the world and conquer the world. It is like not like a virus. It's not dead or not alive. Something in between. Exactly. And then we have like this pure machine depictions, which is a little bit like the Pinocchio trying to become human, like the Tin Man of the Wizard of Oz, but it comes more like this industrial thinking, the machine-human connection. And finally, we have the alien depictions of intelligence, which goes to the borders of what we can think, because if something is conscious and not a human, then it should be an alien. So, and there the most close examples are also in science fiction. And but like from there, I will go to what I do in this process. Or if you don't have questions until now, or some comments.
Any question?
Kind of a question on consciousness,
Sure.
actually, not on that. Back to the image, of the hammer and the cat. Okay? Remember?
The cat, yeah, the hammer and
cat
cat. Yes.
hammer, yeah. And you said, well, you were proposing some others, I think, people's theory of consciousness. So, I mean, I understand it's not your point of view, but so the idea was that the hammer is not free will, the cat is free will.
The extremes.
The extremes, okay,
Yeah.
very good. What about dogs? I mean, because dogs is like, protecting you as a robot's Asimov rule, following actually Asimov's robot's rule more than his own survival. I mean, he would probably prefer your own life as an owner than his own. Therefore, he's an hammer. I mean, it looks like closer to a hammer, which means no consciousness.
But the dog is engineered,
Yeah,
like
exactly,
genetically
yeah.
engineered animal. So,
Okay.
and the cat is I think it's like there are few. As far as I know, the cat is at the end of its evolution. So the cat doesn't have enough genes that you can genetically manipulate. Like you can breed them. Every attempt to make breeding cats, for example, my partner, she found this British Shorthair on the street, and she had actually she wanted to breed, and she was so naive that she breeded one British Shorthair with another one. And she had some kittens, and this kitten is actually very strange. It's very small, and the other one, the brother, died very young in some disease, epileptical disease. So any attempt to breed cats leads to the catastrophe. As in the dogs, actually, like the extreme breeding in dogs, there's some space to do this, and we use this space, and there are now. This extreme breeds are, but this is before, because the dogs is engineered to behave like a robot.
Sure. And it's also true that probably dogs is an exception in the animal realm as well. I mean, there's nothing like dogs actually. I mean, there's no other animal that has been de-animalized as much as dogs have been, because they were being created by humans to actually serve themselves as a race. So
Because they are so adaptive. Like the wolf is a very adaptive animal, so it has like this gene pool of adapting. If it goes to the poles, cold regions, then thick hair, or grow bigger, thicker, longer legs, and so it has this possibility, this potential to get it manipulated genetically.
Okay, so the dog between the hammer and the cat.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the question.
No, I mean, like here I give the cat as a conscious being, like
Sure,
like an equal.
The best example of free consciousness. And what's the name of this cat?
A yogurt.
Yogur.
Okay.
Sorry.
The other day I read that cats domesticated themselves for humans. So not the humans domesticated.
Sure. But there is this nice joke, that the dog, as cats and dogs looks at you, and like the dogs look at you and thinks, oh, you give me food, you must be God. And the cat looks at you and thinks, oh, you give me food, I must be God. And that is, I think, sometimes thinking.
Yeah, there is like more equal communication actually between humans and cats. So. Okay, so other questions or comments?
I do have a bunch, but they are quite unrelated. So maybe
Sure,
I can
please.
Okay. I was very shocked about your prediction about the data mummy, and so when you envision that, do you think about an artificial intelligence that creates new intelligence, or that just kind of has the entire bibliography of what that person said, and you can ask, and that artificial intelligence can tell from everything that has been said already the answer?
Okay, so like how it works actually? As I understand the functioning mechanism of the I prepared also some slides on it, because maybe I can jump there directly. So the generative artificial intelligence, as in ChatGPT, for example, there are some GPTs, not this ChatGPT, but there are specially programmed GPTs who are already doing this, like the famous Atatürk from Turkey. So like he's like a cult figure, of course, a politician. He's already long dead, like around 100 years. But somebody did it's called AtaGPT, and you can talk. So you can talk with each other. the data fed into it is like all that he wrote, all the biographies about him, and how it works. Like you can write here really and have a conversation, and if you ask like strange things, and also like tries to invites you to behave well because it's like so like yeah, exactly. And how it works is there is this noise again, like in the horror film, and then it predicts the next word, which should be the most fitting, most realistically connected to it. Compared to this all this literature, makes an analysis of the old words, how they are connected to each other, how they are following to each other, meaningfully, how close they were in semantic space, and then takes the next word and puts to the next and the third word and the fourth word, and this is how it generates text. Yeah. This is like how but also there is a chance of the randomness is also playing, and now from this randomness, the closest thing, the most close to most realistic or most fitting thing. This is how.
That's very interesting. And the other question, it's because once I saw a person on the street that a friend of mine told me that was a transhuman, and I had no idea what that was. And he had like a kind of thing coming from his head, and apparently that can grasp more information about in the air that a normal person can have. And is that going on the direction of what you said before of not dying, of survival, or is it something else? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Like having body extensions, what we are doing already. Like it's they are extending our bodies, and this is why the person shouldn't enhance with these things. This is implantations. Implantation sounds very strange. I don't want anything in my body, but people are doing this. Like I have earrings, so I feel good in them, even it is like just to look better. But it is already I'm implanting things to my body, so it is not inhuman. I think it's not something very out of this world, out of culture.
Well, many primitive cultures put stuff into their body, I mean, like wounds or think about it. So is that different? I mean,
well, I mean, in the sense that it kind of enhances your natural capacities.
Provided that you can speak with implantation, which I'm not really sure. I mean, it's collecting data, probably giving them to your other devices.
No. I have no. I might be wrong about this, but what I've been told is that this person gets some information about the earth.
So yeah, this is somebody talking to your nail,
and it goes straight to his brain.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can just like there's an Australian artist, Talark, who did these things already like 30-40 years ago, who started to experiment with these things. He has like this ear implanted, and he has like a third arm moving around things, like he can write with 3 arms. He made performances about being more than human, this transhumanism. He's like really nice guy, and he's not a monster. So, and he did these experiments already, and
it's not
yeah.
so young. I mean, he was born in 1946.
Yeah.
Cool.
He suspended himself in flesh hook suspension.
Yeah, but this even before it becomes so like a very trendy in the BDSM scene. So he already did all these things in the 70s. So sure, like there is also the Donna Haraway, a Cyborg Manifesto. Maybe this could be nice to check. Donna Haraway, Cyborg Manifesto. Of course, it is like connected to body, this kind of questions, and also it connected a lot to the gender, how we see the body as a political entity. So this discussion of transhumanism and cyborgs, implantations, is very connected to feminist discussion.
Yes. And it was a socialist movement. The Cyborg Manifesto was published on a thing, was published in the US, whose name was Socialist Review. Sounds, really.
Very daring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the US, I mean, not that a
That's
Socialist
right.
Review per se is the point, but yeah.
Yeah, and any being which with an artificial intelligence is a cyborg. Like I'm also a cyborg when I use the glasses. So this is all the implantations. Okay.
Time's be running over, so
Okay,
maybe you
done.
can wrap up.
I can wrap up and I can tell what I'm working on, like what I
Exactly,
produce as an
exactly,
artist,
yeah.
and then we can.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. So, okay. It was here, like with octopod beings, and what I do, one of the things what I do is like looking for different manifestations of intelligence, and one of them is like most strongest one is the octopus actually, and I see a lot of parallels between octopus and artificial intelligence because they can really change the color of their skin like pixels. They are like little cells on their skin which can change the color like a pixel, and using all these pixels they can change all their images. And this is developed as a camouflage mechanism to avoid predators. But in time, they started to use it to hunt, to surprise their prey, but then also communicate with each other, and also think by themselves. And even there are like videos of dreaming octopuses, which are like talking with themselves visually, creating this visual language. And there are also like one male octopus, a small male octopus, can present one half as a male, the other half as a female, to avoid the male competence. So like it's very intelligent and thought behavior. So there are like a good example to think about the consciousness and intelligence when we think about the artificial intelligence.
It was this book?
Yeah, this book. Yeah,
it's
this
amazing.
yes, yeah. The Other Minds of the
Yeah.
Creator. Yeah.
A book on
Exactly.
octopuses, if you're interested. Very nice book.
Okay, so like I work on the octopus and then imagining it and using it with mixing with AI, presenting it in exhibitions or similar talks. I think this work was good because it's selected by children jury or for an exhibition created by the children and youngsters. It will be in a couple of weeks. It will start, and I'm trying to now make these images to work with people. Like my next project or next workshop will be a similar audience, a similar talk with a partner, talking with the expert partner about these topics, actually not me alone, and I will give people, the audience, a sand. It's a kinetic sand, it's called, and you can really play with it and create sculptures, and it resembles this structure of this. I'm talking about this noise, sand, and it gets out of this noise. The images are generated from the noise, and I will give people sand. It's a very similar structure to create their own faces of AI, and I will then process them using AI. This is like my next workshop in search of this image of robots and AI. So like the practical, what you see. This is like what is in the science fiction, but what do you, the people in this year of this big boom, seeing there? This is my next topic. Yeah, exactly. This is like if you want to see my artistic work, this is my web page.
Can I ask you one
Yes,
thing
sure.
about the wording? I mean, because you speak of images of AI,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not a native speaker, but to me, images, it's not only visualized images, but it's also, what you get from books, for instance. So, images that are not actually depicted, but that gives you an idea in your brain.
Yes, exactly.
So, shouldn't that be like visualizations of AI more technically? Because images looks to me like broader category. I don't know whether I'm able to. Like images conflates with conceptions of AI, which might be even brought by, for instance, novels, rather than that don't depict anything with colors.
Yeah.
But with words. So isn't that visualizations the best?
Exactly. Actually, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But in context of this talk, if I would use, for example,
Ah,
visualization
yes.
is the much more correct word. But I am like also discussing with my friends, and if I'm doing, for example, proposals,
Sure,
project
you use
proposals.
the lay
Im-
word, which is images.
Yes,
right?
labor. Yeah, exactly. Labor as a labor word. Yeah, and even then it is like problematic because image can be also an image created by the AI. Then people think
Sure.
on this and not the image of AI
Yeah, sure.
itself.
Off and not by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I see.
But the word also puts together also what you said, like the what we think, what we
Yeah.
conceive
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. Okay.
or concept. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you have some one or two last questions, then or we can.
Yeah, no, I would like to
Okay.
thank you very much. We're a little bit behind schedule because of technical problems. We apologize for that, Merta. Our EduRoam was not working properly, but we fixed it. First of all, I would like to invite you to join me in thanking Dr. Merta Akbal for his wonderful presentation. I think that was really mind-blowing. So let us give him a good round of applause. And I think that we can have just a 10/15 minutes break before our second session on comparative law with Professor Marta Infantino. And maybe you can,